All right, welcome back to IntyCenter at the FODEUSS Baseball Classic. And tell you what, we teased you with 3 games that all had some heartbreak in the thread. So let's go ahead and jump into those right away as we get started on March the 15th. First up, we have Lat Amazings and Rum Row Runners tied at 1 heading into the 8th inning. Jimmy Fox would greet reliever Jonathan Papelbon with a 2-run single. Charlie Gehringer would add a 2-run homer, and Rum Row would take a 5-1 lead in the 9th. 3 different pitchers would be used by Rum Row to load the bases on 2 walks and a single. A walk to Sammy Sosa drives in a run. A double from Jose Ramirez would drive in 2 more. All of that happening with nobody out. But Buster Posey would fly out too shallow to score Sosa. Hanley Ramirez would hit into a fielder's choice to retire Sosa at home. And Andrew McCutchen would ground out to short to end the game. And somehow the Rum Runners held on. Next up for Heartbreak City, it's the Bandwagoners and Teddy Bears. Teddy Bears lead 7-5 as we enter the 9th. But with 2 outs, Frank Robinson doubles to score a run, and then Ernie Banks singles to not only tie the game and score a run, but to break Cubby's heart. Was momentum with the Bandwagoners? Not so fast, my friends. Ty Cobb draws a leadoff walk. He steals second. He goes to third on a ground out, and then a single from Heine Zimmerman brings him home, walks it off. Teddy Bears win it 8-7. And finally, our trio of heartbreaks, we have DeLorean Drivers and Remember the Alarmo. Down 4-2 entering the 8th, the Drivers get RBI singles from Cal Ripken Jr., Chris Hoyles, Craig Biggio, and Tony Gwynn to take the lead. A Cal Ripken sac fly in the 9th adds an insurance run, only for Brett Saberhagen to walk in a run and then give up a 2-run single to tie the game. Though, to Saberhagen's credit, he did retire the pinch-hitting Larry Walker to send the game to extras. In the 10th, using the power of beer and fried chicken, Wade Boggs hit the solo homer to put the Drivers back on top. It's a 1-2-3 bottom of the inning for Saberhagen. They escape with the win. Now, a 3-run 9th inning made the final score look close, but there was no real drama between the Lemurs and brand new ball players. Lou Boudreau and Wally Berger each drove in 3 runs. Brand new ball players win that one 11-8. And absolutely no drama in our last game of the day, because right now there's no slowing down those free fallers. Jim Rice, Ozzie Smith each drove in 3 runs. Rice homered twice. Dave Parker, Gary Carter each homered as well. Reseda absolutely walloped the Convicts 11-4. We're going to move on to the 16th and talk about a couple of blowouts to get us started. First, it was 3 true outcomes. They scored 12 runs in the first inning. Mike Trout hit a leadoff homer, and they were off to the races from there. House of Dragoons starter Dazzy Vance records a grand total of 1 out in the game. He gets charged with 8 runs, all of them earned. Freddie Freeman hits a 3-run homer off Hugh Daly as part of that first inning. The outcomes get their desired outcome. They win by a final score of 19-8. Elsewhere, it was Teddy Bears falling behind 1-0 in the first before they would get a pair of 2-run homers in the first from Sherry McGee and Tris Speakers. Tris Speaker, no S on that one. He's not a plural. Lad Amazing starter Max Scherzer would give up 2 doubles and 2 homers before he'd record an out. Teddy Bears would end up with 15 runs on 17 hits, 3 hits each from Speaker and Johnny Kling. They rolled to a 15-5 win, and Cubby, thank you, whether it was by choice or by happenstance, for starting Addy Joss on 316. Hey, we also had brand new ball players absolutely taking the wood to miasma theory. Johnny Mize had 3 hits and 5 RBI. Joe Medwick, Ted Williams, they each homered. 4 different pitchers for miasma gave up 3 or more runs. The ball players take it 15-8. Lots of offense from the Lemurs and the Convicts, but absolutely no runaways here as this one came down to the final out to decide it. A 3-run homer by Derek Jeter in the 6th and a 4-run 7th put the Lemurs on top 11-8. But the Convicts get a pair in their half of the 7th to get within 1, only for Jim Edmonds and Jeff Bag-and-a-half Bagwell to go back-to-back in the 8th and push the lead back to 3. Let me check my notes here to make sure this is right. Yes, Luis Arraez hits a 1-out, 2-run homer in the 9th. That brings the Convicts to within a single run. The pinch-hitting Maglio Ordonez would double. They'd have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out. He'd move to third on a ground out, but Chris Carpenter would get Jose Altuve to finally act like the trash he is. He grounded out to end the inning and the game. That tying run doesn't get home as the Lemurs win it 13-12. Safe to say, Satchel Paige rebounded from his earlier poor start. He goes 8 innings in this one, stifles the Willie Mays Hayes to the tune of 1 run on 5 hits. Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, and Chuck Klein each collect 3 hits. Rumrow wins that one 7-3. We go to St. Patty's Day, and all I can say is, go home, FODEUSS Baseball Classic. You're drunk. That's the only conclusion I have after the bandwagoners and Willie Mays Hayes entered the 9th inning at 7, or tied at 7. But with 2 outs, Carl Yastrzemski hit a grand slam to untie it. And after a pitching change, Duke Snyder and Rico Petrocelli homered, making it back-to-back-to-back jacks for the Willie Mays Hayes. The bandwagoners get their first 3 men to reach base in the bottom of the inning. They score a pair, but they fall in this one 13-9. An 8-run second inning gave Toad Ramsey an early night, sent him to the showers, and put the Free Fallers on their way to their 7th win in 8 tries at the Classic. A Jim Rice grand slam was the big hit off the Toad, and the Free Fallers continue to look like they might be the team to beat here at the Classic. Alarmo and DeLorean traded 4-run 4th innings, and after a Gary Sheffield 2-run homer in the 6th, we were tied at 8. Alarmo gets a run in the 7th to take the lead, 3 more in the 8th, and then they answer a Terry Steinbach homer in the home half of the 8th with 2 insurance runs in the 9th. Sheffield homers again in the bottom of the 9th. The drivers load the bases with 1 out. They send up 2 different pinch hitters, Don Mattingly and Tony Gwynn, each representing the tying run, but Eric Gagne retires them both. And remember, the Alarmo win this one 14-10. Hey, it was the rare sighting so far at the Classic. Rumrow runners got a dominant start. This one from Bill Foster. He goes 8 1/3, gives up 1 run on 5 hits. The lead was so secure that manager Bullet Rogan went with, you got it, Ed Porray for the final 2 outs. The Pirate of the Seas gets those final 2 outs. Babe Ruth, Charlie Gehringer, they each homer. The runners take it 8-1. We're not sure if this is what Red Faber was supposed to be standing by for, but he stood by and watched a lot of balls go past him. He only records 5 outs. 3 true outcomes use a 2-run Trey Turner homer as they beat the House of Dragoons 8-3. But we'll end with this one on the 17th. The can of whoop ass of the day came from brand new ball players as they opened one on the Convicts. Lou Boudreau hit a grand slam in the 5th inning. Johnny Mize and Roy Campanella added homers as well. Boudreau gets 6 homers. Boudreau gets 6 RBI in the game. That matches the total scored by the Convicts. The ball players take that one 19-6. Hey, sorry for all the gaffes today. If you were counting them up, put them in the thread. Tell how many I got. Who knows? Maybe I'll get out some Indy bucks in the next one. I'm going to blame it on my late night last night. Riding Top Thrill 2. You get a chance to ride it. Go ride it. It is fucking awesome. And that's going to do it for IntyCenter. We'll see you next time for another whip around the FODEUSS Baseball Classic.